Hi guys, I got a recipe for you today. Pumpkin lasagna. So you can use canned pumpkin or you could use fresh pumpkin. I just happen to have some pumpkins here that we grew in our garden. There's a whole one. Here's one that's already prepared to be roasted. What I did is cut it in half, scoop out the nastiness, put it on a cookie sheet, and then you're going to place this face down on your cookie sheet and roast it at 350 degrees for about an hour or until it's tender. Okay, so while the pumpkin is roasting, put in a bowl 1.5 pounds of ricotta cheese. It doesn't matter whether you use part skim or the whole milk. Obviously the part skim is healthier because it's got less fat. About 1/2 cup of parmesan cheese and an egg. So mix that all together and set it aside in the refrigerator. And then put a pot of water on. You're going to pre-cook your lasagna noodles. Alright guys, so pumpkin is out of the oven, it's peeled, it's cut, and over here I've got my Rachael Ray lasagna pan going. Sprayed the bottom with some non-stick cooking spray and got my first layer of pre-cooked lasagna noodles in there. So next what I'm going to be doing is taking the pumpkin and distributing it pretty evenly on the bottom layer. And if you don't like pumpkin, not a problem. Pretty much any winter squash will do, like butternut squash, acorn squash. You don't like squash, go with spinach. You don't like spinach, go with zucchini or courgette. Or actually, you can even roast some eggplant and use that on the bottom as well. So we'll check back after we get all the pumpkin on the bottom of the dish. Alright guys, so we got all the pumpkin in the bottom of the dish on top of the lasagna noodles. Now, if you just want plain old pumpkin lasagna, put some salt and pepper on it to season it to taste, but I really like this Greek seasoning, so I'm going to be putting this on the top. It's got salt and seasoning, salt and pepper in here already, along with some other Greek seasonings. So I like a lot of that because I like it to have a lot of flavor. Now this is the secret ingredient, pine nuts. And if you've ever had pine nuts, unfortunately they're very expensive. They're a little bit cheaper if you can buy them in bulk at Sam's Club, for instance. I'm using 3/4 cup. It gives a really nutty, delicious flavor to the lasagna, and it also gives you a little bit of extra protein in there because it is a vegetarian dish and there's no meat in here. So after you get the pine nuts on there, we're going to get another layer of the noodles on. Alright, so now that we have the next layer of noodles on here, we're going to be adding the already prepared ricotta mixture. And you just want to spread that out evenly. And sometimes I add pesto to this. I'm not going to be adding it today. It would be kind of nice for Halloween because it gives a nice green color. It turns everything green. I know, but we're not. We're going to stick with the plain ricotta today. And then on top of the ricotta, you guessed it, another layer of the lasagna noodles. Alright, so now that we've got the final layer of noodles on, I have a pound of mozzarella cheese cut up here. It's part skim. You could also use grated, but I think when you use the big brick and you cut it up kind of rustic, it makes it feel more like a restaurant. And who doesn't want to eat a restaurant in their house? Have restaurant food in their house? I want to eat a restaurant in my house. So you just put that on there, and then there's only one more ingredient after this. Now, what I would normally do at this point is put Alfredo sauce on the top with a little bit of extra liquid because the noodles aren't cooked all the way through. But they didn't have it at the store. Well, I didn't look at Target, but I was hoping that they would have it at Sam's Club. So we're having a déclassé version today. We're using cream of mushroom soup for that white trash flavor. Just kidding. Not really, but I mixed it with 1 can of milk, and I'm pouring that over the top. Be careful it doesn't overfloated. And I'm going to be adding a little bit extra as well because it's going to be dry if you don't. So this is just some extra milk. It'll suck it all up, don't worry, it's not going to be soupy. because the noodles aren't all the way cooked. So after you get all that in there, it's going to go in the oven at 375 for about 45 minutes, and then we'll pop that bad boy out of there. And there it is out of the oven, and here it is on the plate. So I hope you decide to make that and enjoy it. Until next time, much love.